All right, welcome everyone. Some issues are fast approaching that I do feel I need to talk about. This is going to have to do with an assembly bill in the state of New York that it appears to me at just quick glance that it's kind of being pushed under the rug. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this bill. And so that's why I wanted to go ahead and shed some light into this bill. And of course, this is right now for the state of New York. Now, of course, um, how many other states are going to formulate a bill very similar to this? Okay, I live in California. Pretty sure if a bill like this isn't already on the books, it will be fast approaching itself. Okay, because New York and California are some of the most radical states when it comes to governors that are tyrannical, especially with this whole COVID lockdown, the mandates, the shutdowns, the stay-at-home orders. And so I will not be surprised one bit to learn that Gavin Newsom will also sign a similar bill. Okay. Now, I will be screen sharing this so all of you can follow along with me. Now, when I'm screen sharing, of course, I won't be able to um, see any live chat comment in the live chat area, but feel free to put any chats in there. And when I get done going through, it's five page document that I do feel that I need to read all of it. And then I will come back to the live chat area, catch up with you guys, and we'll just kind of talk about what does this mean for the the American. Okay, whether you classify yourself as a Christian, non-Christian. Okay, the fact that you and I, who live in the United States, that we're Americans. Okay, this is of great concern. It really is. But let me just say Happy New Year to all of you guys. I know I have been rather quiet as of the last few weeks. Just working and getting bills paid off, and just really trying to concentrate on other things. But I have not forgotten any of you. I think about you guys all the time. I miss having the fellowship. I mean, I'm still doing the Bible studies on Wednesdays with Merle and Michelle Hanna. And hopefully we will have Brother Ted back with us this coming Wednesday for Grace Believers Fellowship when we will be getting back into our James study. And I see Curtis is in the house. Hi, Curtis. Great to see you, bro. Um, okay, so what I think I'm going to do, hopefully, Curtis, if you wouldn't mind just kind of keeping an eye on things in the live chat area, because like I said just a few minutes ago, when I'm screen sharing this and I'm reading from this 5-page document, I'm not in the live chat area. I won't be able to see what is going on. So I fully trust Curtis to kind of take the ropes with the live chat area, make sure that there's no trolling going on. Say hi to Curtis. Those of you who are just coming in and joining me. I think at this point I'm going to be by myself because we've got a lot to talk about, and we really need to look at this document and understand what this means for us going forward. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to start screen sharing. Okay, gotta just find the page here. Why is it not? Here we go. Hopefully you guys will be able to. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, this was I believe this was a tweet, possibly, from Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. I have I'm somewhat familiar with her. I've seen a couple of her videos. Okay, and so this was I'm not sure exactly when this was put out. It can't have been but more than maybe like a day ago or so. Okay, so detention camps coming to New York State at New York Gov Cuomo, enemy of the Empire State and we the people, hashtag tyranny. Okay, New York State Assembly Bill A416, New York Senate.gov. So as you can see here, as far as I know, this bill has not been passed. It's going through the proper channels to be passed. Okay, so this is what we're going to be reading. Okay, so this is page 1 of 5. So I have to bring up each page individually so that you guys can see everything. So let me get the let's see here. Let me try something else here. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to close down this one. Let's see if it's going to pull up now, because I want you guys to be able to here we go. Want you to be able to see this, and I zoomed it in as much as I can. Okay, State of New York. So this is supposed to be Bill 416 for 2021 into 2022 regular sessions in Assembly. Now, this is interesting. This was pre-filed. Okay, obviously we are not at January 6th. That's coming up on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of things happening on Wednesday, January 6th. Okay, but so those in charge of writing this bill, they have pre-filed it. Okay. Introduced by M. of A. Perry, read once and referred to the Committee on Health. An act to amend the public health law in relation to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to the public health. Now, what you're going to see as we start reading through this is there's not one mention of COVID. Okay, they've covered their butts very, very carefully to make sure that this assembly bill could potentially cover a wide slew of infectious diseases. Okay, but you and I know that they're thinking about COVID, because what has been blasted on the news media sites, Twitter, Facebook, I mean, we've been bombarded. Even as you're driving on the streets and your interstates and your highways, like here in California, a new one, and I hadn't seen one in a long time. But now the new one in California, put out by Caltrans, says, slow the spread, add CA notify to your phones. Okay, now with the latest phone update that I had, it looked new. And on this one, it was all about contact tracing. And on this one, I was able to decline. Okay. Now, at some point, will that just be forced on us where I can't even decline it? I don't know. But at least right now, I have control over that. Okay. So this is about COVID, but they are very, very careful not to even mention COVID once in this. Okay. The people of the state of New York, represented in Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Okay. And remember, if this passes, this is supposed to go in effect on January 6th. Okay, Section 1. The public health law is amended by adding a new section 2120-A to read as follows. Removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be a danger to public health. Other orders. Number 1, the provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency due to an epidemic of any communicable disease. Okay, number 2, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier. Now, notice these trigger words: contact, carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease that, in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health, resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality. The governor or his or her delegee, including but not limited to the commissioner or the heads of local health departments, may order the removal and or detention of such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. Okay, so what if they come into your home and they detain your whole family? Okay. Such person or group of persons shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his or her delegee and complying with subdivision 5 of this section. Number 3, a person or group removed or detained by order of the governor or his or her delegee pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall be. Now, the explanation here. Okay, the matter in italics, the green underscored, is new. Matter in brackets is old law that is to be admitted. Okay. Got to pull up the next one. Okay. Just want to make sure you guys are seeing this. Okay, shall be detained for such period and in such manner as the department may direct in accordance with this section. Number 4, notwithstanding any inconsistent provision of this section, A confirmed case or a carrier who is detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall not continue to be detained after the department determines that such person is no longer contagious. B, a suspected case or suspected carrier who is detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall not continue to be detained after the department determines, with the exercise of due diligence, that such person is not infected with or has not been exposed to such a disease, or if infected with or exposed to such a disease, no longer is or will become contagious. Okay, now see, this has all been conditioning. Everything that they've done for the last 10 months has all been conditioning for this. Okay, number C, a person who is detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of the section as a contact of a confirmed case or a carrier shall not continue to be detained after the department determines that the person is not infected with the disease or that such contact no longer presents a potential danger to the health of others. D, a person who is detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section as a contact of a suspected case shall not continue to be detained. And so it's like, you don't know. I mean, this is what this whole contact tracing is supposed to do, okay? Let's say I'm a person of contact of a contact of a suspected case, okay? Well, how many false positives are there out there? Okay, this person may or may not truly have this, really bad killer disease. Okay, but because they've been able to trace me through this contact tracing, me plus the suspected person are going to be detained. Okay, this is how it's reading to me. Okay, after the department determines with the exercise of due diligence that the suspected case was not infected with such a disease. Oh, like maybe they had a false positive or was not contagious at the time the contact was exposed to such individual, or double I, after the department determines that the contact no longer presents a potential danger to the health of others. Okay, a person who is detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall, as is appropriate to the circumstances, A, have his or her medical condition and needs assessed and addressed on a regular basis, and be detained in a manner that is consistent with recognized isolation and infection control principles in order to minimize the likelihood of transmission of infection to such person and to others. When a person or group is ordered to be detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section for a period not exceeding 3 business days, such person or member of such group shall, upon request, be afforded an opportunity to be heard. Well, isn't that nice of them that they're going to allow us who are going to be herded like cattle, that they're going to allow us to be heard? If a person or group detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section needs to be detained beyond 3 days. And what's the determining factor that they say that we need to be detained more than 3 days? They shall be provided with an additional commissioner's order. Okay, so and as I continue reading, you're going to see what this is going to lead to. Okay, so you have one order that's going to allow them to detain you for 3 days. But if they decide that you have to be detained longer, they have to give you another court order, okay? Pursuant to subdivisions 2 and 8 of the section. When a person or group is ordered to be detained pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section for a period exceeding 3 business days, and such person or member of such group requests release. So in other words, I'm saying, let me out of here. You have no right to hold me. The governor or his or her delegee shall make an application for a court order authorizing such detention within 3 business days after such request by the end of the first business day following such Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday. Okay, so what if I've already been in there for 3 days and I say, let me out, you have no right to hold me? Okay, well, then they have within 3 business days after the request by the end of the first business day following such, and it's like if this happens on a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday, now you're looking at even more days being locked up. Okay, which application shall include a request for an expedited hearing. Okay, well, how many of you have had court hearings and your court hearings have been pushed back and pushed back? Maybe you got a speeding ticket and you wanted to fight it. Okay, does that mean that you stay locked up until you finally get your day in court? Even though they're saying it will be expedited. Yeah, don't count on anything being expedited here, folks. Okay. After any such request for release, detention shall not continue for more than 5 business days in the absence of a court order authorizing detention. Okay, so they can't hold you for more than 5 days if they don't have an additional court order stating that they can hold you. Notwithstanding the foregoing provisions, in no event shall any person be detained for more than 60 days with, and I mean, this is, it's like you either want to laugh or you want to cry. Okay. Okay. Notwithstanding the foregoing provisions, in no event shall any person be detained for more than 60 days without a court order authorizing such detention. Okay. So what does this mean? Okay. We've already been talking about a court order for 3 days, and then they can't hold you longer than 5 days if you don't have a court order. But then you have to get you have to be able to go in front of the court if you are demanding that they let you go. But I guess because how the court system works, even though it's supposed to be expedited, they can't, it's saying, in no event shall any person be detained for more than 60 days without a court order authorizing. Okay, so what if they do get a court order authorizing? They can keep you indefinitely. They just have to make sure that they have their court order. The governor or his or her delegee shall seek further court review of such detention within 90 days following the initial court order authorizing detention, and thereafter within 90 days of each subsequent court review. Okay, you're detained 90 days. You ask for an appeal. You get another court order. They can hold you another 90 days, how I'm reading this, until you get your next appeal. Well, if they think that, you know, I mean, maybe you're just not acting like a good little citizen, or maybe a false positive comes up. Okay, now, I mean, who knows how long, if this gets enacted, how long are you going to be locked up? And where are they going to keep all these people? I mean, they're already letting people out of prison because of this COVID nonsense, this COVID garbage. In any court proceeding to enforce an order of the governor or his or her delegee for, let me pull up the next one. Give me just a second here. I will read your guys' comments here in a second, I promise. And I can't read because it says 3 of 4. Or detention of a person or group issued pursuant to this, or for review of the continued detention of a person or governor or his or her delegee shall prove the particularized circumstances constituting the necessity for such detention by clear and convincing evidence. Okay, so I mean, and what clear and convincing evidence are they going to have to bring forward that shows that they can keep you 90 days and then another 90 days, and then by golly, you know, maybe they skewed the tests and now they're going to hold you for, I mean, this could go on and on and on. This is bad. This is really, really bad. And this is for New York. And don't think it's not coming to other states. Okay. Don't think it's not coming. Number 8. And of course, the news media is all covering the whole Trump thing and what's going to happen on the 6th. All the while they pre-filed this to be post-dated January 6th. They want this going into law because as soon as they get Biden in, if you guys have heard his recent interview of all the things he wants to do in his first 100 days. Okay, number 8, a copy of any detention order of the governor or his or her delegee issued pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall be given to each detained individual. However, if the order applies to a group of individuals and it is impractical to provide individual copies. It may be posted in a conspicuous place in the detention premises. Okay, now at first they said that it would be a medical facility, but can I see them, letting out actual prisoners and putting these detainees in these prison cells? Yeah, I can. Okay. Thank FEMA camps, everyone. FEMA camps. Any detention order of the commissioner issued pursuant to subdivision 2 of this section shall set forth the purpose of the detention and the legal authority under which the order is issued, including the particular sections of this article or other law or regulation, a description of the circumstances and or behavior of the detained person. See right here, and or behavior of the detained person or group constituting the basis for the issuance of the order, the less restrictive alternatives that were attempted and were unsuccessful, and or the less restrictive alternatives that were considered and rejected, and the reason such alternatives were rejected. A notice advising the person or groups being detained that they have a right to request release from detention. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the song Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Okay, so you can request release from your detention holding cell all you want. They're under no obligation to let you go, and including instructions on how such requests shall be made. Okay, just make sure you follow the requests, everyone. Make sure you follow it to a T, or they'll find a loophole and they won't release you. A notice advising the person or group being detained that they have a right to be represented by legal counsel, and that upon request of such person or group, access to counsel will be facilitated to the extent feasible under the circumstances. And a notice advising the person or group being detained that they may supply the addresses and or telephone numbers of friends and or relatives to receive notification of the person's detention, and that the department shall, at the detained person's request and to the extent feasible, provide notice to a reasonable number of such people that the person is being detained. Okay, so I'm detained and I tell them, I want you to call my children and tell them that you're holding me against my will. Are they going to really call my children? Are they going to call my husband and tell them that, I'm sorry, we had to detain your wife because either her behavior isn't appropriate. I mean, you saw that. Her behavior isn't appropriate, or she's like tested positive on some bogus test. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little worked up right now. Okay, this makes me angry. This makes me really, really mad. And this is just New York. I don't live in New York, but I would be an idiot to think this is not either coming to California or it's not already being in the works as we speak. Okay, in addition, an order issued pursuant to subdivision 2 and 7 of this section requiring the detention of a person or group for a period exceeding 3 days shall advise the person or group being detained that the detention shall not continue for more than 5 business days after a request for release has been made in the absence of a court order authorizing such detention. And you better believe that they're gonna do all they can to make sure that they have this quote unquote court order, because in their own stipulation here, they have to let you go. If they don't get a court order, they have to let you go. Okay. Advise the person or group being detained that whether or not they request release from detention, the governor or his delegee must obtain a court order authorizing detention within 60 days following the commencement of detention, and thereafter must further seek court review of the detention within 90 days of such court order and within 90 days of each subsequent court review. I mean, how many court reviews are they going to do? I mean, this is sick. It's sick is what it is. And advise the person or group being detained that they have the right to request that legal counsel be provided, that upon such request counsel shall be provided if and to the extent possible under the circumstances, and that if counsel is so provided, that such counsel will be notified that the person or group has requested legal representation. Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit confusing to read and understand. I mean, they have to let you go if they don't have a court order after 5 business days, but then it says it's almost like a contradiction. They must obtain a court order authorizing detention within 60 days following the commencement of detention. Okay, within 60 days. Okay, that means that they've actually kept you longer than 5 days. But here they say they're supposed to let you go. Okay. A person who is detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises shall not conduct himself or herself in a, and I got to get this last page, guys. Okay. In a disorderly manner, and shall not leave or attempt to leave such facility or premises until he or she is discharged pursuant to this section. Now that's funny. Okay. If you are detained, just knowing yourself, are you going to be orderly and not try to escape? I mean, that's funny. Okay. That's funny. Where necessary and feasible under the circumstances, language interpreters and persons skilled in communicating with vision and hearing impaired individuals shall be provided. Okay. The provisions of this section shall not apply to the issuance of orders pursuant to 11.21 of the New York City Health Code. Now, I'm not sure what this code is right here. Okay. In addition, now number 12 is interesting. In addition to the removal or detention orders referred to in subdivision 2 of this section, and without affecting or limiting any other authority that the commissioner may otherwise have, the governor or his or her delegee may, in his or her discretion, issue and seek enforcement of any other orders that he or she determines are necessary or appropriate to prevent dissemination or transmission of contagious diseases, i.e. COVID-19, or other illnesses that may pose a threat to the public health, including, but not limited to, orders requiring any person or persons who are not in the custody of the department to be excluded, to remain isolated or quarantined at home or at a premises of such person's choice that is acceptable to the department, and under such conditions and for such period as will prevent transmission of the contagious disease or other illness. Okay, so maybe if you're good and you talk really nice, because again, you don't want to be disorderly. Maybe you can convince them to put an ankle monitor on you and that you promise to stay in your home. Okay. Okay. To require the testing or medical examination of persons who may have been exposed, okay. So, or to exposed to or infected by a contagious disease, or who may have been exposed to or contaminated with dangerous amounts. I mean, now this is interesting. Okay. Dangerous amounts of radioactive materials or toxic chemicals. This is the first time why are they putting in radioactive materials or toxic chemicals? I mean, maybe that's what they're putting in the vaccines. Who knows? To require an individual who has been exposed to or infected by a contagious disease to complete an appropriate prescribed course of treatment, preventative medication, or vaccination, including directly observed therapy to treat the disease and follow infection control provisions for the disease, or to require an individual who has been contaminated with dangerous amounts of radioactive materials or toxic chemicals, such that said individual may present a danger to others, to undergo decontamination procedures deemed necessary by the department. Okay, it's all about control. It's all about controlling you. You have lost your rights. I mean, yeah, they will let you have legal counsel, but good luck with that. Such person or persons shall, upon request, be afforded an opportunity. Oh, I mean, aren't they so nice that they're going to afford you an opportunity to be heard? But the provisions of subdivisions 2 through 11 of this section shall not otherwise apply. And see, it's like really confusing to try to read through this. The provisions of this section shall not be construed to permit or require the forcible administration of any medication without a prior court order. And you better believe, you tell them there's no way in hell you're taking a vaccine, they will get a court order and they will jab it in your arm. They will do it. Okay, this act shall take effect on the 13th day after it shall have become a law. Effective immediately, the addition, amendment, and or repeal of any rule or regulation necessary for the implementation of this act on its effective date are authorized to be made and completed on or before such date. Okay, now the date on this is in 3 days. Okay. So, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this. This is not good. This is so not good. Okay. Let me catch up with you guys in the live chat here. Okay. Okay, Curtis, you found the bill. Okay. And of course, anyone can find the bill for themselves and see that this isn't me blowing smoke out my butt. Okay. This is real. Okay. But look at all of the propaganda that they're spinning on the news channels. Are they talking about this bill? No. Okay. They're doing this like under the rug type of thing. Okay. Hello to you, what, why, and who. I think you are new to my channel. Welcome. And of course, I don't know if this is going to be censored. Honestly, it'll be just a regular video once I'm done live streaming. And those of us that live in California, we need to see if there's anything similar going on the docket for California, because you know, and as the way right now that you can fight this, do not consent to contact tracing. Do not allow it on your phone. Like with me, I'm an Uber and Lyft driver. So there is some kind of tracing just through the app, but for this contact tracing specifically for COVID, I have it turned off. You know, this is where, you know, we do our 75% due diligence, and then the rest we have to just leave in the Lord's hands to protect us. Yeah, and if you can leave your phone at home, regardless of where out in the world you live, that's even better. Because you do not want to be associated with somebody who is just ignorant and they don't know any better, and they're allowing this contact tracing because they believe the lie. And they will probably use these detainment centers to lock up the defactors, which would be all of us here on this channel more than likely. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and you definitely listen to the Lord, and if the Lord is telling you you need to move, you need to move. But still, it doesn't matter where you end up going, because the Great Reset is going to happen, I believe, and they are getting things in order for fast tracking, I think, possibly in my lifetime, for the Great Tribulation. There's only so much that we will have a voice on, and that's when you have to really cling to the Lord and know that He will get you through. I'm still reading your guys' comments. Hey, Moral, how are you? You might have to. I posted it on my Facebook page. Curtis has posted this bill on his Facebook page. I just read the whole bill. It's not good. Oh, let's see. I'm still trying to catch up. Okay, so Songbird movie trailer. I will definitely. I will check that out. Yeah, because look at the fact that they put in radioactive in that on that last page. It is like the 3 pages before said nothing about um like radioactive materials and chemicals and stuff like that, and then they put that on the last page. That is very, very suspicious to me. So just felt that I wanted to cover this. Those of you who know how to check the bills in California, you might let me know. I'm not sure how to look at that information, honestly, but I highly suspect that something is either on the books already, or it's not long behind that California will do this, because we have a horrible governor here, Gavin Newsom. He's like one of the worst. And of course New York isn't much better. And what I just read, you guys, is from the state of New York. And this could become a law, which I think it would absolutely violate the Constitution. But they've been breaking the laws of the Constitution for 10 months, and hardly nobody's done anything about it. So this is not going to stop them. It's just one more step in global governance. It really, really is. And hey, Ted, how are you? That's Scripture Unbroken. You might want to rewind. I read a 5-page document of what's fast tracking to happen in New York State. I have to check into to see if this is soon coming to a California state near me. Yeah, and what, why, and who. You're right. It's because the Bible tells us this is coming worldwide. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Bible or not. When it starts happening, maybe people will start listening to us, because I've been warning you guys for 9 months. 9 months to get your house in order. Start being prepared. You know, the things that you can do your due diligence, your 70-75% of. Okay, it's like I think it was Merle said on one of the hangouts we did that this is like, last year was boot camp for us. Okay, now things are getting real. It really, really is. I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and go. But yeah, we've definitely got a strong delusion. And so many people believe, I mean, COVID is real, but they have hyped this up and put on so much fear that nobody talks about the seasonal flu anymore. It's like if you cough, I had a passenger last night that I picked up, and they didn't wear masks, and I could hear the one guy say, I'm against wearing masks, and I chimed up immediately and I said, guys, I am not the mask police. You are fine. And the girl started coughing, and she's like, I just want you to know I don't have COVID. And it's like, people can cough for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they have bronchitis or pneumonia or emphysema, or they are just sick, but anybody talks about running a fever, can't breathe or smell, everyone automatically thinks it's COVID. And it is what it is, guys. And I don't see things getting better. I see things getting worse. And if you do not know the Lord Jesus Christ, now is the time to put your faith and trust in him, knowing that even though the whole world may be in total chaos, when you belong to Jesus Christ, you are safe and secure. And just like Peter, who got out of the boat and walked through the wind and the waves to Jesus, okay, Jesus didn't let him drown. And so that's what we have to remember. We have to remember that Jesus isn't going to let us drown. We may see just darker and darker times coming. But now's the time to understand your place in history, and continue to preach the gospel in season and out of season. And we're going to be coming to a time nobody's going to want to hear the gospel. They're not, because they're believing the lies. But we still have to be like the prophets of old. We still have to warn. We still have to let them know what's coming. We have a book that is 100% true, 100% accurate. We know how this all ends. We don't know, how much time until that end comes. We don't know if we're, fast tracking to that. My suspicion is we are. But again, I don't know. All I know is that I am to proclaim the name of Jesus Christ, and I'm to tell you how to get saved. You just simply put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, in the free gift that he died for your sins. And once you have accepted that free gift, you can never lose it. You can never be taken out of the Savior's hands, and you are eternally secure forever. So, all right, you guys take care. God bless. Hopefully Ted will be able to join me and Merle this upcoming Wednesday, 1 p.m. for Grace Believers Fellowship. That's a study we've been doing. It's a Bible study where we're just going through right now. We did the whole book of Philippians, and now we're into the book of James. And so hopefully we'll be able to continue right on in our James study. And I think in 2 weeks from today, I'm going to have Lorraine's Music Hour, 1 p.m. I'm hoping to have a few new songs for you guys. I'm working some things out with that. I have like a whole bunch of accompaniment tapes under my bed, and my husband did find a way that he thinks that I can get those directly onto my computer, so that with my microphone I can sing them professionally. So I have some new music for you guys. And of course, you can always go to my music website, www.lorrainesmusic.com. Under the big arrow, put your email address in there, get some free music from me. I've done a whole facelift of my music site. There's a few minor things that I have to finish up on, but you're all welcome to go over and take a peek at what I did new over there. And of course, my Bath and Body website is www.lovescreation.net. Support small businesses, because we're becoming extinct, basically, so support your Christian ministries, your Christian businesses, when and where you can. All right, you guys take care. God bless. And I will just, I'll see you in a few days for Grace Believers Fellowship.